Hi, Luke here from the Talking Theatre podcast, and before you start this episode, this is just a warning to say that this podcast does contain some strong language and adult humour, but also it is hopefully a bit of a laugh, and, we talk all things theatre. So, with that formal announcement out of the way, let's get on with this week's podcast. Hi mate, how are you?
Not bad, mate. Not bad at all. Yourself?
I'm not too bad, I'm just sat here anxious, and before we start this pod, I should probably preface that one of two, or maybe two of two things could potentially happen during this podcast. Firstly, I might have a man come into my bedroom to want to do something to my electrics or something, so yeah, we'll get onto the one in a second. I think that's a little bit more to talk about. So yeah, basically,
You couldn't have phrased that more perfectly, mate.
thank you. So yeah, a man should be coming to sort out, as I say, my electrics, maybe this afternoon, although we should have been here yesterday, so he's now, about 26 hours later than what he should have done, which is a new personal record for him, because when he's supposed to come on Saturday, he was only 6 hours later than when he should have been. So if we have to stop this recording for that reason, I do apologise, we'll just pick it up after that. So if it seems a bit disjointed, it's because a man's been playing with the electrics in my room. And secondly, we could be distracted because both myself and Tom are waiting for an email about the publication of our university results. Although we've been told that today, Wednesday, we're not getting our results, at this point, who's to know?
Yeah, the uni's well equipped and disappointing.
So who knows? But hopefully by the time this podcast goes live, then we will have got our results, so everything will be fine, we hope. Just a little bit of a preface as well before we kind of start this episode. The last couple of episodes haven't been live at 5 o'clock on a Friday, so I put my hands up now. I apologise, I'm sorry for that. We've had a few technical issues, but hopefully, crossing the fingers, we shall be live again at 5 o'clock on Friday, now that we think that I have resolved the technical difficulties that we have been having with our upload time. So hopefully, this is live at 5, and hopefully we've got our degrees by then. So other than that, I should think we should probably start this week's podcast. Hello everybody, and welcome back to episode 7 of this, the Talking Theatre podcast, with me, Luke.
And me, Tom.
And this week's episode, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the past couple of episodes where myself and Tom have delved a little bit into our theatrical pasts. But as you can see by the title of today's video, it's got an aggressive title and thumbnail, and we are going to be delving into and creating our list of what we believe, as I've got it here in my lovely little planner book, my pen falls out, of the most overrated, top 10 overrated musical songs of all time. Now, some of them aren't necessarily overrated, they're just overdone, but because it's YouTube and YouTube likes an algorithm, we've put them all under the same bracket. So, as I say, we've come up with 11 at the moment that we kind of workshopped through just before we started recording this, and we're going to go through them individually to start with, and then once we've kind of talked about each one individually and revealed the 11 songs that we have come up with, we will then try to formulate our top 10 list. How does that sound, Tom?
Sounds good to me. I would like to put out there, I will probably enjoy a lot of these songs, because I love a musical. I don't often go to musical in theatres, I must admit, and I don't know them that well. I only recently watched Hamilton on Disney+, but I might kick up a fuss in some of these songs. I might be like, no, you're wrong, they're great. So we'll see.
Awesome. Okay, so the first one that we've written down is Defying Gravity from Wicked.
Alright, go on, why do you think that one's...
If I had £1 for every time I've been to a competition, or I've seen Britain's Got Talent, and a little girl comes on and wants to sing, if I had £1, as I say, if every time I'd heard that song sung, I could easily pay a month's rent.
You see, I'd be broke because I've never seen it done at like Britain's Got Talent and stuff like that. Granted, I've heard it a lot, but I'd maybe be able to go, I don't know, get a couple of McDonald's. Like that's the sort of level I'd see it. But from Wicked, I'd say it's probably the most recognisable one that is done a lot, and you think, oh, Wicked.
It seems to be the one that's just identified with that musical, and I don't really like the musical either, to be honest. So
I haven't seen Wicked.
Haven't really missed much.
I've heard mixed reviews.
It's good for the inner 8-year-old.
Fair enough.
Can't
argue with that. It's a musical.
Oh, no,
okay, I'll let you have that one. It's played a lot and it's quite a popular one. So
yeah,
fair enough.
It's a very difficult song, I think, to sing, but come on. Think of something else to sing.
It takes a lot of talent, man. It takes a lot of
It does,
skill.
but come on. You're not telling me that's the only thing that type of female singer is going to sing if they go to an audition for a stage school or in a musical theatre exam or at a competition. Oh, look at me, I'm going to grow up and look like a witch. I don't care, it's been done too many times. It's on the list.
Alright, go on, what's the second one then?
The second one is My Shot from Hamilton. Now, you've just seen it, as you've said, on Disney+, so it's on the list.
Okay, Hamilton. Got a lot of time for that musical because it is very good. Unfortunately, I think I was a bit late to the train, so the hype I heard was probably a little higher than what it felt like for me. And also, it doesn't half go on. It is long, man, and it's all the same. It's good. I would hand it that I thoroughly enjoyed it. But there were times in it where I'm like, that's long. That's a lot. And there's a lot of sort of side plots and stuff going on that ultimately, I don't know really where they went. But when it comes to My Shot, before I'd even seen the musical and heard the soundtrack or anything like that, I did enjoy My Shot.
You did?
I don't quite know why it's the biggest one. But I think it's fair to say it's probably the most.
I would say so, yeah.
I know if you know My Shot, you might not know the rest, but you'll know My Shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good. I do enjoy it. I know a lot of the lyrics to it because I've listened to it a lot. But that could just be me overplaying it on Spotify. But who knows? I don't know. That's a weird one. Yeah. No, I can see it. I can see the thought process behind that.
Okay. Next one on the list then is Seasons of Love from.
That was a very civil one. That was very civil. We just sort of went, yeah, okay.
Next one then, Seasons of Love from Rent. Great musical.
Which Seasons of Love?
The one where it's like 525,600.
Yeah, no, that one is overdone. I have no
which
idea
is such a shame because I actually think it's probably one of the best group numbers from any musical. But
I mean, that's probably why it's overdone.
It is. And there's the bit at the end where you kind of have the mixed harmony and stuff. And if it's done badly there and the person, that, especially the top note, if you can't hit it, it sounds appalling. And I just think, what a waste.
The only part of that song I know is the first line. Like, I'm not being funny. I don't know Rent, I don't know that song, but I know that line, and that line just triggers within me. So maybe I've just heard it too many times. So maybe
I think
that's got a very valid place on our list.
Yeah. So the next one is I Dreamed a Dream from Les Miserables. Famously done by Susan Boyle on Britain's Got Talent. That's her first audition.
I think the way... I don't see this as... I'll get to more on Les Mis later, but this is one of the Les Mis songs that I don't see anymore as a song from Les Mis, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because I've heard covers and stuff, it's now become its own
song
entity, effectively. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if I can class it as an overrated musical song because it's. I don't see it as a musical song anymore. And I know that's really stupid because it is, but I don't know. It feels overplayed because it's being covered by like pop singers. And
yeah.
anything like that. So I think, in terms of musical, I don't know.
I mean, what I will say about it, it's got a great storyline to the song. And it's, it does speak
Fantastic.
to a lot of different things, but as you say, it's also one of those songs that gender's been completely stripped away from it, if you know what I mean. Like, it's been done by absolutely everybody, and anyone and everyone's dad has basically seemingly now sung that song at some point, so...
Yeah. I think it's powerful in the context of the musical, and I think it's just good when it's sung out of the context. So, I don't know. I think that one should be low on the list, because I still think that's a solid. Whenever I hear that, it's always like, well, from the musical anyway.
So the next one then is the Rocky Horror Show, the famous one from that.
Always like,
That will be the one.
Okay.
It's just too repetitive, I think.
You see, I thoroughly enjoy it when I'm hammered.
And I think that's the problem, is it not?
I think, for me, Rocky Horror has a lot of nostalgia placed on it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it reminds me of Edinburgh Fringe and getting drunk with your mates. And that, I don't know. I still enjoy the film. I haven't seen the stage version. There's a stage version, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. So I've just seen the film, and I've got fond memories of the film. So I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think that should be very low down on the list.
Okay.
It is on the list, but it is overplayed, granted. But I love it.
Awesome. Okay. So the next one, I've kind of lost count where we are, but doesn't really matter at this stage. Cell Block Tango from Chicago.
It is the dream role for a lot of actors, let's be honest. Musical theatre actors to do it. I thoroughly enjoy it. Chicago is my favourite musical film, granted. But
Take the dancing away. Do you think it's a very good song?
Or Cell Block?
Yeah.
I think it's stereotypically musical. On its own, if you listen to it out of context, I don't think it is very, I don't know. But in terms of part of a story, I think it's fun. I think it's good. But like I say, it's I've heard it so many times now, it's got to be done right. So it's a risky one, I think. It's a risky one to overplay.
Yeah. It could be interesting to see where that one comes up, I think, in our list.
Yeah.
Well, now I've got a feeling that the next one could be fairly high in the pecking order. Let It Go from Frozen, which is now apparently a musical that we didn't all need to see.
Well, didn't it get shut down in London before because of COVID?
Yeah, apparently they still are planning to open in October, apparently, in this year, from what I understand, at the newly revamped Drury Lane Theatre. I think there's no chance of that. Absolutely no chance.
Well, I guess we'll never be able to see Let It Go happen on stage. But
it's a shame, isn't it?
Again, I think this is a similar sort of thing to Defying Gravity. Like, it's a very hard, technically, song, I'd say. Very hard technically.
Interesting, sung by the same actor originally.
Oh gosh, yeah, isn't it? That just completely went over my head, but yeah. I've just heard it so many times on the radio.
Yeah.
And it's just constant, and it's repetitive. And then I watched Frozen 2 the other day, and then the song in that was...
I haven't had the joys of seeing it, thankfully.
It's alright, it's fun, it's decent to watch. But there's a song, I can't remember what it's called, but it's nowhere near as iconic. But it's exactly the same thing, and I think it'll be the same.
There's not many songs and musicals that become pop songs in their own nature by being played on national radio. And that is exactly what that song became, and probably still is.
Yeah, I still think it is. I'm going to have to Google this because it's going to bug me. Go on with the next one, and I'll do a little flashback later on.
I can do, okay. The next one is Memory from Cats. Ooh.
I don't know Cats, but I know that...
Did you not go and see the film at Christmas that everyone was raving about?
No, and I have very little intention to watch.
Do you know what, right? I actually went to see it, and I didn't think it was half as bad as what everyone was saying it was.
I watched the trailer, and that was enough
Right.
I watched it and I went, absolutely not. I cannot take this seriously for 2 hours. I must admit, I haven't got much of an opinion on Memory. I know it's one that's sort of, when people think of musicals, that's the song that comes up. But I don't really have much of an opinion on it.
That's
and
really
the song
interesting.
Frozen 2, by the way, is Into the Unknown.
Oh, right.
And it's just like, it's the notes they hit are insane. So, yeah, that's going to be the next Let It Go.
Lovely. That's what we like to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's got a catchy little... Yeah, it's not right. I prefer it to Frozen, to Let It Go, but...
Yeah.
It's still... I just couldn't remember the title, put it that way. It's not got quite the same one.
Well, the next one isn't technically stage musical yet. We probably aren't really hedging our bets to say that this will be a musical at some point, because producers will want to make some money out of it. And it is City of Stars from La La Land.
La La Land.
La La Land.
I don't know if it will make it into a musical.
Oh, I think it will.
Might just leave it. I don't want to place bets on that, but I think they might leave it. La La Land, though, is a weird one, because when I first watched it, I despised that film. I did not enjoy it. The only bit that I thought that was redeeming was the ending. I won't spoil it, but the ending is the only redeemable feature.
I like the opening a lot.
Huh?
I liked the opening quite a lot.
No, I didn't connect with it. I watched it again afterwards, though, and then I was like, no, I get it, I enjoy it. And then I watched it a third time because it was on TV or something, and I was like, yeah, you know what, it's not too bad. I do enjoy this, but I don't know, there's something... Visually, it's a beautiful film, but when it comes down to the actual songs in it, it's like, alright. But I think it has the same problem as Let It Go, in terms of it's been popularised through radio and TV and stuff.
A bit like something that's not on our list, but probably should have been, so if you think it should have been, put it in the comments. The Greatest Showman. Not on our list.
God, how did we forget that?
How did we forget that?
That film, oh my god.
But maybe, because we constantly... I've got my pen here, so I can put it on the list and we can have it debated.
Yeah, put one of them, any Greatest Showman song.
Or just put Greatest Showman. That'll do.
Yeah, we'll know.
We all know what we're talking about there.
Put that on the list, so now I've got 12 to narrow down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. La La Land, I think every time I watch it, it grows on me. But the ending is still by far the best part, because I just thought that was lovely.
So, that means we've done 10 of them then so far, and means we've got 2 more to go. And they're both from the same musical, so we'll back them out straight away. Back to Les Mis, and One Day More, and then On My Own.
One Day More is the classic when you're sort of hyping up in a musical setting, all your mates know the words, and you all take different parts. But the problem comes when it then comes on shuffle, and then you've got to sing all the parts yourself, and it just becomes an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Which, again, can be fun, but it's just so consistently, musical songs for a big group of people, this one. And I enjoy it. I love that song. It's the one I remember Les Mis from, but I can see how it's overplayed. Yeah.
Well, On My Own, in the same kind of bracket, in my opinion, as Dream to Dream.
Yeah, I think everything I've said for A Dream to Dream, I can copy and paste and put here.
Yeah. So anyway, that is our now 12 on our list, and we're going to go to a break, and we are going to think about, when we come back, how on earth we're going to organise 12 into 10. So stick around for our complete 10 to 1 list of the most overrated musical songs of all time. It's not really of all time, but you know what we mean by this point, if you're at this point in the pod. So, welcome back. While you guys have been enjoying that 20-second interlude, we have been busy writing down our top 10 from 10 to 1. Now, the way we're going to do this is we're going to both say from 10 to 6 and then from 5 to 1, and we're going to try and come up with a bit of a agreed list, so to speak. And we've been speaking and decided that although I know the title says what it says, That's YouTube. What we've basically come up with is overplayed, bit overhyped, kind of overdone. We're not saying that the one that's top is necessarily overrated, and it's not us being smug of, we can't sing it so we're going to say it's overrated. But that's the kind of world in which we have.
We can't sing it, but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Not one.
No.
Yeah.
Only
Right,
privately.
Go from 10 to 6 for your...
10 to 6. Right, let me open the planet. And I will find my 10 to 6. So, at 10, I've gone with My Shot. At...
My lists are going to be so different.
At 9, I have gone with One Day More. At 8, Cell Block Tango. 7, basically anything from The Greatest Showman. And 6, Memory.
Our lists are vastly different. I also had no idea what I was doing for this. I really struggled. But my 10, I put Rocky Horror at the time because I went, I love it. I think also not everyone knows it, so when it's played, it's like, alright, that's that song.
Okay.
Then I put 9 as Memory, purely because I don't know the musical, but I do know that song, so it's clearly done a lot. Then I put at 8, I put Defying Gravity.
Okay.
Because I see that as not as overdone, because it's only within a certain community. If you start playing Defying Gravity to people who don't know musicals, they probably won't recognise it. Then I put number 7 as City of Stars.
Okay.
Because the film was so widespread and it's just quite well known. And then at 6 I put Cell Block.
Okay.
And I don't know why I put 6 at Cell Block, but that's what I've done. So those are my 10 to 6. I'm excited to hear your top 5 now, man.
Okay. So, leave your thoughts and comments on both of our 6 to 10s in the comment section down below. And now we will come on to, as Tom just said, our 5 to 1. And to make it a little bit more spicy, why don't we go in between each one? So if I say my 5, then you'll say yours and vice versa. Just to make it a little bit more entertaining. So at 5, I went with Seasons of Love.
I put the Greatest Showman soundtrack, just in general.
Okay.
The same music being that to City of Stars it's just so widespread, and it was sold as an album as opposed to a musical, because if you listen to the album you don't need to watch the film, and I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, that is, I agree with you on that. So maybe at 5 can be the Greatest Showman. At 4, I went with On My Own.
I put another Les Mis, I put One Day More.
Okay.
I don't know what, I just think it's Les Mis song, the one that is the most sing-alongable to for a big group of people, therefore making it the most played. Is my logic on that one.
Yeah, that's interesting. At 3, I put I Dreamed a Dream. In Time Gone By. Did you? That's interesting.
I put Hamilton on there because there's just so much Hamilton hype at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just so, and like, I was thinking while I was writing out, actually, all the ones that the Disney Plus adverts and stuff, I don't think they include My Shot at all. They do stuff like I Want to Be in a Room Where It Happened and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think My Shot is, because there's so much Hamilton hype at the moment, it's being played a lot.
Okay. So we're down to our final 2. Now, I'm going to reveal which, for those of you that, because there are 2 obviously, which might not be in this list at all. So I'm going to reveal which 2 I have in my list, and then we'll see what Tom's are, and then we'll try and guess each other's. So, remaining in my list, I have Defying Gravity and Let It Go.
I've got Let It Go and Seasons of Love.
Okay, interesting. I think I know what's first for you.
Fact that you've gone for Defying Gravity.
Absolutely. 100%.
Not even a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. That is overrated. Put it out there. You know, being aggressive. So, for all you haters in the comments, if you're there going, you've clickbaited this, it's not overrated, you haven't said it is. I have now, so there we go, we've ticked that box. Overrated, don't like it, don't care about it. If I never heard it ever again in my life, I wouldn't care.
Well, my number 1 one was
Let It Go. Yeah.
Because it's everywhere still, even after however many years since Frozen came out. And Seasons of Love is number 2, just because if you go 5,025, whatever it is, if you start singing that, every musical person in the room will join
We'll
in.
start singing.
They'll go, never sing that again. And then the next person will start singing it, and you'll sing along again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Musical theatre kids love to hate that song, so it's played all the time.
Yeah. So do you think we can kind of come up with a top 5 combined, potentially?
Well, purely because you're more aggressive than I am, I will accept Defying Gravity to go at number 1 because you seem like you might kill me if you don't. So that...
Only virtually.
Let It Go is second.
Let It Go is second, 100%. Let me write this down on my piece of paper so I know where we are. Got a pen.
So yeah, you've got Defying Gravity at 1, Let It Go at number 2. I stand by my contemporary hype of Hamilton, but I think that should be in the top 5 somewhere, and I'm very sure it should be number 5, just because it's...
Yeah, agreed.
While it may have died down a bit now, the hype was also very real.
Aren't they doing another one at some point?
Oh.
I feel like they're doing another one.
I really hope not.
They don't need another one. I mean, they do need another one if you're one of the producers, because you can make billions of dollars on it, potentially. But we don't need another one. If you're out there in Hollywood, and you're definitely not, but if you are, one day, we don't need it. Don't not need it. The first one was good. We've had our fix now. We can move on.
We'll launch to fame now, and then they'll watch this after they've already made the 3rd one.
Yeah.
So then they'll be like... Oh,
only 3?
Well, they'll be doing more after that.
It'd be like Harry Potter from now on.
Yeah, the next franchise.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
3 and 4.
I'm happy to be lenient on the rest of them. But I think the first 2 and the 5th one should stay the same, and I'd say Hamilton goes in there at some point.
I would agree. So just remind us of your 3 and 4 in your list, and then...
So I've got 3 is My Shot, and then 4 is One Day More.
So mine was Dream to Dream and On My Own. I am prepared to let go of On My Own, because it's not as famous.
Tell you what, put 3 as My Shot, and I Dream to Dream as number 4.
That's what I was thinking.
I think that's a very fair top 5.
I think it is. So,
I think that makes sense.
I think it is. So just to clarify, let's go over that again. At 5, this is combined what we have agreed on, from 5 to 1. We have anything from The Greatest Showman at 5 on the soundtrack. As Tom said, if you listen to the soundtrack, you don't need to see the film, because it's basically the same thing. At 4, we have I Dreamed a Dream from Les Miserables. At 3, we have My Shot from Hamilton. At 2, we have Let It Go from Frozen. And at 1, we have Defying Gravity from Wicked. So, there we are. Hopefully, that's been... I've enjoyed that, though.
You've got a lot of venting off your chest, I think. I think you needed that.
Yeah. It's been burning up in me for at least the past 5, 6, 7 years, to be honest.
Well, there you go then. There's our list of the top 5 overrated musical songs. I did not wake up this morning thinking that's where this would go.
No, I didn't either. But what I think is great is that it means our audience out there and our listeners have something to kind of comment on now and engage with. And, you know, do you agree with our 5 to 1? Do you agree with our 10 to 1s even, in fact? Our individual ones? Are the songs that we missed out? Have we glaringly missed songs out? I mean, we missed out The Greatest Showman originally, so leave it in the comments.
We've definitely missed out some big ones. I still think we probably should have put Lion King in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But,
have you seen Lion King?
But also, it's been a nice distraction from not looking at our emails for a bit.
Have you seen Lion King at all?
Not on stage, no.
Oh, brilliant. Technically brilliant. The rest of it's a bit boring.
And on that note...
we will end today's podcast.
It's been a joy. Thank you, Luke.
I've enjoyed it as well, mate. Hopefully you guys have all enjoyed it at home, and thank you for listening to episode 7 of the Talking Theatre podcast. And it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Adios.
Adios.